Hey, you're watching Fat Man DD1, you dingus. Whatever he said.
Yeah, this is boy Fat Man. We're gonna watch something real quick, and it's pretty short. And this person gives this weird idea in this brainwashed approach that being male and female and only having one gender is false idea. Let's hear what they got to say.
You know, one of the reasons why cis people think they're real or natural or the default is because they've fallen into the trap of the myth of white supremacy.
I'm gonna stop you there. Before Africans were taken from Africa, there were male and female only. Beep. Unless you were born differently. But there was male Africans, female Africans, that's it. It's not white supremacy. It is what it is. Throughout the entire time, even in nature, there's a male, there's a female, right? Bees, there's only one queen bee out of like all of the male bees, but then another queen bee dies and she gives birth and she selects a male and boom, another female bee. And others are being born as well. I want people to realize this. This is the dumbest, stupidest take in the world, right? You're trying to have a conversation and say white supremacy, which is, I guess it's, I don't know how to put it in words because I never heard of white supremacy. It just sounds stupid. It's basically white people having all of this power and forcing their ideas and maybe ideology on top of you and brainwashing. Kind of brainwashing, but white people status. That doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to make it make sense because I don't know what the fucking term is. People use it so many times online, especially black people and anybody else who's white, like who's Asian or white, but they identify or they look towards communities as such and such. Personally, I don't give a fuck, but I do respect one thing. I respect the fact that you believe like, oh, this person, their people are the reason why history is fucked up or some stuff. And I'm like, 50-50. But moving back forward, you can't say through ideology there is not more than one gender. That doesn't make sense. You can't say through brainwashing there's a reason there are only one gender. In reality, there's actually 52 genders. That doesn't make sense. For humans? No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I'm going to let you believe that because I believe when it comes to everybody who thinks they have another gender, how are you going to procreate? That's what I want to ask. When people start talking about gender and gender stuff, I'd be like, bro, how are you going to procreate? Are you ever going to have kids? Are you ever going to give birth? Oh, I'll just impregnate the man. Men can't get pregnant. That doesn't make any sense. But people are like, yes, they can. I'd be like, well, no, they can't. Like, I don't have ovaries. I don't have fallopian tubes. That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to start having those conversations. It's weird. And for you to say there's like these other genders and people who don't call themselves cis or straight or whatever the fuck, they don't respect it. I'm so confused and so weirded out. Let's continue this video before I start losing my mind.
They're connected. So if you think things like trans women aren't women, or if you call people trans but then refuse to call yourself cis, if you're cis.
I don't want to call myself cis. That's so corny. I'd rather just say I'm straight. I'd rather just say I'm a guy that likes girls. You know what I'm saying? And then if somebody's gonna be like, oh, you like girls? You like trans women? I'm like, I would say no. I don't like trans women. And people be like, why? That's a woman. I'd be like, okay. But I don't like trans women. Why? Because trans women have huge attitudes. They're mad disrespectful. They can't sit down, have a conversation without bringing up something about the LGBTQ community or somebody they don't like in the community. Trans women are very, very hostile. They're always trying to take charge of a situation. They never pay on dates. They're fucking assholes. Yeah, there you go, right? And that's all fake. I never dated a trans woman. I never cared. It was like, trans people or transgender people started coming up, I guess, like after I started like doing more internet shit, and it just started coming up more frequently. Like, I'm trans. Personally, I don't care if you're trans. I do realize one thing though. If I'm a guy, I like women who are women, but that's a problem because it's not fair. But I'm like, oh, cool. You have a preference. You want to date somebody that accepts you. I am looking for someone who accepts me without trying to bend me to their fucking ways. Brainwashing, basically. What white men do.
That means that you have been influenced by one of the original influencers. The siblings, the twin siblings of colonialism and the myth of white supremacy. And those twin influencer siblings get paid by capitalism to influence. They have literally influenced you to believe that there is a version of a man and a woman that is more human than all the other versions.
But there's a version, it's a version of a man and woman because you came from a man and woman. You sit there, Asian woman, that came from a man and woman. And you sit there telling me some shit. Get out of here. Yeah! Yes! But the fact this person believes we're all brainwashed and we don't agree or don't want to say certain things, to me personally, is messed up. Listen, live your life the way you want to live your life, but you can't tell others how to think, act, react, or even accept something. That's just the part of life. People have to come to these things their own way. Like, for real. Sometimes that's just it. You can't ask or beg or fight for acceptance sometimes. People just have to learn. You're human, I'm human. At the end of it, even if I don't agree with how you move in your life, it don't affect me. I just don't agree with certain things. Just fine. Learn to agree to disagree. And if you can't do that, then there is no discussion. It's only arguing. Point blank. Point blank.
Sound familiar? Yep. White dominant culture, colonialism, capitalism, they've been working real hard on us. Remember, just like with any influencer trend that is toxic, we don't have to believe it and we don't have to follow it. And in fact, we can even point out the ludicrousness and make it completely obsolete. You know,
to have something be ludicrous is to look at something and say, this is dumb. This doesn't make sense. And everything you just said can't be proven because it's dumb and ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. It's wacky tobacco right there. And that good old yacky doesn't make sense. So from your boy, I call you a person who just likes to talk and smell their own farts. And in reality, you don't know the weight of the words you speak of. You feel like you do, but you don't. And honestly, I'm not going to be blinded by an honest, true opinion or something I feel. My instincts tell me otherwise. Move in this world with intent. Move in this world not to do harm. Move in this world to lead your life in a better direction. Either you be gay, lesbian, trans, non-binary, either way, move accordingly. But understand the rules of society. And understand society's rules may not bend for you, but you can definitely make up your own rules as you go along. People say life is hard. Life is hard if you make it harder on yourself. Learn to live smarter. Learn to breed good intentions. Learn to create good intentions. Learn to accept things for what they are, but never bend to them. And never have others bend your way just because. Convince them the best way you can through discussions and conversations. And if you don't want to have the discussions and conversations and you feel like it's going to start arguments and you feel like someone's a phobe, they're not. They're not trying to be discriminatory. They're not trying to be monsters. They're not trying to be the worst person of them all. And yes, there's a lot of bills. There's a lot of things happening. Some people just don't understand. So you talk to them in the best way possible. You have those discussions. And if you feel like you can't and you want to fight, scream, destroy things, that's okay too. I can't tell you how to think, feel. I can't tell you how to move in this world. Only you can. This is your boy Fat Man. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon to be notified. And from me to you, remember to never give up. Never surrender and keep on grinding and mad love. And when I say mad love, I mean have mad love in your heart for those out there, family, friends, anyone with integrity in their spine. So peace, and I'm out. And stop listening to people on TikTok who don't have a single life experience. They don't. And this is coming from a man who has enough life experiences that you've obviously seen what's on my hand, and there's a reason for that. And down the line, I'll explain that to y'all. Peace, and I'm out.
Shit.
Getting on drum.
This is the last one.
You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill.
This is the last
Some of
one.
you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract.
I ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All them niggas fallin' like autumn, nigga. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous.
Yeah,
Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry. How it feel to be golden.